Okay,
right,
so
now let
you're
me tell
trying to
you
make
something.
official...
This attitude that you have right here is why you in Great Britain have lost your culture. You ceded your culture to a bunch of radical Muslims who came in and took over, and now it's gone.
This is the face of a man who is painfully stupid and doesn't know it. The UK is responsible for inflicting the planet with 3 kinds of abomination: Pakistan, Andrew Tate, and Piers Morgan. He thinks he has made a point, which is adorable because that has literally never happened in his public career. And as we are about to see, it didn't happen here either.
I'm sorry, Piers, but to get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America.
12 seconds later.
Okay, what is the national language, officially the national language of the United States of America?
I mean, English. And there's been a push for many years to make it an official,
you don't have one.
Documented thing.
You don't have one.
This is supposed to be Piers's got you moment, but he's just wrong. One of Trump's executive orders designates English as the official language of the United States. So what we have here is a dumb interruption based on outdated trivia delivered with disgusting British smugness.
Okay,
right,
so
you're
trying to make official...
This attitude that you have right here is why you in Great Britain have lost your culture. You ceded your culture to a bunch of radical Muslims who came in and took over, and now it's gone. We're not allowing that here.
What's amusing you, Piers? We know British men aren't supposed to have any sense of pride in their national identity. Is that why you think this is funny?
Piers Morgan treating this like a joke is a perfect example of how indifference and softness allow radicals to gain ground.
And Piers replies,
Or maybe it's because I'm in England and know it's not been taken over by radical Muslims.
yes, the same England where the mayor of London is Muslim, the Home Secretary is Muslim. The last election saw a record number of elected Muslim MPs. The most popular boy's name in the UK is Mohammed, and I haven't even touched on their acts of random kindness: the 2005 London bombing, the 2007 Glasgow airport attack, the murder of Lee Rigby, the Manchester Arena bombing, the London Bridge attack, the Westminster Bridge attack, the Pershing Green train bombing. Islamic terrorism accounts for roughly 67% of attacks since 2018 and 75 to 80% of MI5's life investigations. And let's not even get into the Muslim Pakistani grooming gangs. That may not be a big deal for a guy in a photo with Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, it's not like the ghost of Osama bin Laden has taken over England, right?
Men like Piers think this is funny.
Now, in Piers's defense, none of this took place in Kensington or Sussex, so he has no idea what you peasants are complaining about. If it's not on his teleprompter, then it's definitely far-right hate speech propaganda from a nuisance like Tommy Robinson.
Piers wouldn't know a radical Muslim if one blew up right in front of him. He's just as naive as most progressive weirdos.
I mean, do radical Muslims even exist in the UK? All they have are moderate, well-assimilated Muslims, like this guy who plotted to bomb the British consulate and later got to run for a council election in Birmingham. A teacher in Batley showed a Mohammed cartoon in class, and 3 years later the teacher is still in hiding from moderate Muslims because radical Muslims don't exist in the UK. What exists there is a malignant rise in
Islamophobia.
Dear Piers Morgan, I watched the now viral clip between you and Megyn Kelly. You are dismissing the idea that Islam is a problem in Britain because apparently you have not been the victim of any of its enrichment. Fair enough. What would be the evidence that you need to see that might alter your position?
And Piers replies,
No, I am dismissing the idea that Britain has been overrun by radical Muslims, which is utter nonsense.
God's sad, I know you are trying to help, but take some advice from a Jewish man who lived in the 1st century. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs.
There are 40,000 people on the terror watch list that MI5 keeps, and over 90% of them are jihadis. Now, 40,000 is larger than the entire size of Hamas in October when they launched their attack. 40,000 is larger than the entire size of the ISIS army that was in Iraq in 2014 when they launched their infamous insurgent invasion there. It's half the size of the British army, right? And that's the number of jihadis that we have in this country.
Rafe posted this clip as a direct reply to Piers. He probably thought what Piers needed was a presentation of the facts. My brother, even Jordan Peterson and Douglas Murray couldn't fix Piers. This is a man who is wise in his own eyes, and there is more hope for a fool than for him.
1 in every 100 Muslims is on the terror watch list already. It's the fastest growing population because of mass immigration and because of the high birth rates in the Islamic community. So the Pew Research Institute, which is a very respected non-partisan organization, says that by 2050, in 25 years, the Muslim population in this country could rise to just below 20%. So if that means if 1 in 100 are, you're going to have 120,000 people potentially on the terror watch list, which will be about a third larger than the entire size of the British Army.
Yes, but according to Piers Morgan, the wisest journalist in all of Britain, all of that is just
utter nonsense.
Fact check. Piers Morgan is correct. The Muslim population in Britain is about 6.5%, hardly an overrun by any stretch. Radical extremists are a tiny, loud fringe, but not the majority. They're not ditching fish and chips for halal mandates. The idea of a radical Islamic takeover is pure hyperbole. Fear sells.
Of course, it's a tiny fringe making noises like the ones heard around the Twin Towers on 9/11, and all it took was 19 pious Muslims. Meanwhile, only 1 in 4 British Muslims believes Hamas committed rape on October 7. 46% of them sympathize with Hamas. They are just 6.5% of the population, with a few bad apples who have weaponized Islamophobia so effectively that authorities look the other way as they rape white British girls for years. But don't forget, it's just a
tiny, loud fringe, but not the majority.
How wrong have you got to be to make me agree with Piers Morgan?
It turns out she doesn't even have to be wrong. And this is coming from a journalist in London. Lord have mercy. This kind of foolishness doesn't go out except by prayer and fasting.
But it gets even worse than that, of course, because that's just the people that we know about on the terror watch list. Now, we've had other polling from Populous and other organizations that's shown previously that 9% of Muslims have admitted to being extremists, fundamentalists, and supporters of terrorism. Now, 9% today is around 350 or 400,000 people. That's going to be about well over 1 million people in the future.
Wow, over 1 million potential extremists. But don't worry, Brits. The man who didn't know that English is the official language of the United States has spoken, and he says,
utter nonsense.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.